Thank you, Dan. Good morning, students.
Good morning.
Mr. Ken Harrison is owner of KMH Educational Enterprises, a company dedicated to providing leadership training to individuals and organizations so that they may reach their maximum leadership potential. Mr. Harrison is also a logistics officer in the United States Marine Corps Reserve and has served in some of the most challenging and demanding positions. These include performing duties as an operations officer in charge of over 160 Marines, to work at the Pentagon, to serve in tours in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. He is a graduate of Armstrong Atlanta State University and holds a master's degree in education. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Mr. Ken Harrison.
Good morning. How many of you remember what you were doing on September 11th, 2001? It's really interesting to look around the room and see some of the young faces, some people that may not even have been born 10 years ago. But for those of you who were, do you remember what you were doing and where you were? I do. I was a student, just like many of you here today, in the United States Marine Corps Logistics Officer School. And I can remember my instructors coming in and out of the classroom that day. And they would let us know what was going on as the events unfolded and the attacks occurred. And one of the things that stands out in my mind the most is that we didn't cancel class that day. In fact, we continued class that day and every day after. Because we knew as Marines and as a nation, our country could change forever. We pressed on and we did not quit. The definition of a hero is an ordinary person who is admired for brave deeds and noble qualities. An ordinary person who has extraordinary strength and courage. The events of 9/11 shed a light on a nation of heroes. So today, we're going to take the time to honor those brave men and women of that day, but also of our nation as well. To all the families who were lost that day, to the men and women, we honor you. To the first responders like firefighters, police, emergency medical personnel, who rushed to the buildings, who fought fires and saved lives, we honor you. To elected officials like mayors and governors across this country who bonded together for a common cause. And to the President of the United States, both past and present, who have done everything in their power, everything in their strength, everything in their ability to keep you and me and this nation safe. We honor you today. But let's not forget about ordinary citizens who have done everything in their power, everything in their strength, who have gone above and beyond to help not only the families of September 11th, but who have not forgotten our men and women in uniform. I personally want to thank kids and teachers like you, who when I was deployed to the Middle East, sent care packages of Girl Scout cookies and candy and DVDs and things for me and my friends to enjoy so we wouldn't feel so homesick. We should thank ordinary citizens, like the men and women of Savannah Christian Church who prayed for me, who cooked meals for my family, and who gave my wife and kids comfort. Ordinary citizens, like the military spouse at Hunter Army Airfield at Fort Stewart, who has had to say goodbye to their loved one for a year or forever. But through it all, ordinary citizens like you have not forgotten, have pressed on, and have not quit. 6 years after the attacks of September 11th, I deployed to the Middle East. And last year I deployed to Afghanistan to do what I could to help our men and women in uniform. And one of the hardest things of being away is missing friends and family. I have 2 young children, one 6 and one 4. And it was always hard to talk to them over the phone, and they would ask me, "Daddy, why are you so far away? Daddy, when are you coming home? Daddy, we miss you." And those are hard conversations. And one day, it just came to me. I said, how can I explain this to my young children? How can I let them know what's going on? And I said, Daddy is helping the good guys and catching the bad guys. And that is something that even a 4- and 6-year-old can easily understand. And since that day, on September 11th, thousands of men and women in uniform have deployed because they are helping the good guys and they are catching the bad guys. And they have not quit, and they won't quit until we as a nation tell them that their job is done. So I'm going to ask all of you a favor. When you see somebody in uniform, when you know somebody has served in the military in some way, just take the time to say, thank you. Thank you for your service. Because it means more to that person than you will ever know. The overall connecting theme of that day is one of shared sacrifice. And some have had to sacrifice more than others. But through it all, I believe that we as a nation have grown strong. In life, you will always be faced with challenges. Some that you'll be afraid, even scared to do. But the difference between success and failure is a person who succeeds tries that much harder, works that much longer, and is just that more determined. The story of September 11th that I want to live in your heart is not one of fear and of terror, but of strength, but of honor, but of courage and commitment of the American spirit. Of a nation of true heroes who have not given up, who press on, and who do not quit. Thank you, St. Andrews. It's been a pleasure.